Good morning, boys and germs. Welcome to the Daily Crack today, and this is ramblings from the gym. Not down by the river today because I'm in early this morning coaching classes. So yeah, you get probably my echo, and the boys across the road are up pretty early this morning, so you're going to hear trucks beeping right on cue. Thanks, boys. Normal story. If you're watching this live, hashtag in the comments below, live. If you're watching later on in the replay or watching a replay of this, hashtag replay. And if you think this is worth sharing, fucking share it, please. Absolutely. Is porn a bad thing? This is keeping it in theme of the videos this week, which is dealing with what I'm talking about, relationship stuff or relationship stuff. And you know, the topic of watching porn and how that can affect a relationship is always an interesting topic of conversation to bring up. A lot of people think that porn is a bad thing. A lot of people think it's a good thing. Then, like in a relationship, is it cheating? Is it something that should be done, shouldn't be done, or whatnot? So let's explore this. This is kind of my own opinions on it. I'm more than happy for you guys to put your opinions and your experiences in the comments below, because this is an interesting topic on what people think about it. But porn, anyway, porn's been around for a long fucking time. Fucking a lot longer than you think. This isn't something that you just jump on the internet the other day and you can just type in and bang, oh, there's boobs and willies everywhere. This goes back to the Egyptians, the Romans. Like, they used to have brothels. They had, what do you call the thing? The mosaics on the wall with boobied girls. Like, this stuff around, the human need for the sexual experience has been around for a long, long time. Look at the Kama Sutra. All the sexual positions that have, been invented or come up. This shit isn't new. Sexualization, objectification of males and females is not a new thing. It's been around for fucking years. So that's where we begin with this. Pornography, or the need for pornography. Sarah, good morning. The need for pornography has been there forever. It's not a new thing. Just in the way, I suppose, it's delivered now, obviously, is a lot different because technology is different. And how we access things is so much more different. Like back in the day, they didn't have a fucking iPad. They had fucking stone tablets. It's a little bit trickier to chisel out a nipple on a stone tablet than it is just recorded and sticking on an iPad. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, back in the day for myself, my first introduction to pornography would have been, back in Ireland, there was this newspaper called The Sun. It's a tabloid. Every page 3 each day of the tabloid was a page 3 girl. So the chick would be there with her boobies out, wearing underpants. You would never see a flange at all. It was just the boobs. So as a young fella, sneaking out to the outlad's car, stealing the newspaper and having a look at the boobs, that was my introduction to pornography. There was no real internet at the time. Well, there was. I didn't have internet in our house until probably, what age was I? Maybe 15 or 16, and it was dial-up. So when when I was hunting for, the first time you get on the internet, there's boobs on the internet that like different boobs than the ones in the newspaper. When it's the newspaper, it's only one set of boobs, but on the internet, there's multiple set of boobs. So you're like looking up these little thumbnails and you click on them, and because it's dial-up, the picture is loading up from the bottom. So man, I'd have knocked one out before I even got to the knees. I'm seeing these fucking beautiful shins on the way up, and I'm fucking hoping they're a girl's set of shins. But you're just the excitement and the slowness of it and the excitement. Oh, fucking mind meltdown. So that was my first experience of pornography, and someone sneaking into someone going into Newsround buying a Playboy magazine or something like that. It's what you do, and you're fucking looking through and you're like, oh lads, do you mind if I borrow that magazine for the weekend? I'll see you later. What the fuck are you doing? Fucking, knocking one out. So like today, what we have when it comes to porn, it's an abundance. The internet, it's pretty much 90% tits and ass and willy. That's what it is. Then the other 10% is Amazon, Netflix, Instagram, and those other fucking things. But you're on the internet and it's all boobs and shit. It's all boobs and shit. So I've notes wrote on this today. That's why I'm looking down. So basically, is porn a good or a bad thing? Well, listen, it boils down to this. When you watch, if you do watch porn and if you're using it, how do you feel after it? You know, do you feel like a deviant? Do you feel like you're doing something wrong? Because if you feel like you're doing something wrong, maybe it's not top of the pops for you. But you know, if you can watch it and you understand what it is, it's entertainment. It's a little bit of titillation. And that's where it stops. Boom. It's good because really and truly, porn is a very unrealistic world. It's all constructed. It's fiction. It's like watching a movie. Like, I would love to believe Avatar was real. I would love to believe that Jurassic Park was real. I know it was like, you know, dinosaurs walked around at one stage, but I would love for that to be real. But I know when I'm looking at it, like, fuck, this is a great story. This, like, you know, it's awesome. I'm immersed in it. I'm part of it while it's on. But I know once it's over, it's like, that was fun, but now this is reality. The world I live in here right now, it's real. So if you're watching porn and you're expecting that that's the real world, well, then that's a problem. Because it's not. It's not real world. It's not real connection. It's theatrics. It's fiction. It's expanded beyond what reality should be. Because like, there's nothing to say that you can't get ideas and try things out, especially if you're with a partner that is open to that sort of stuff. So it's definitely a world of, maybe we can explore something like this. And absolutely, and that's great. And if you've had that connection with your partner, happy days. But if you think that world is real, then you have an issue. Or then there is an issue, okay? Because it's fictional. You gotta remember that. So, is it addictive? This is kind of the problem we run into. If you've got an addictive personality, you know, porn can be one of these addictions. You know, porn isn't the only addiction out there. People are addicted to drugs. People are addicted to dopamine on Instagram and likes. People are addicted to alcohol. So if you're a sort of person that has a very addictive personality, well, maybe porn could be a problem as well, because people do get addicted to it, and then real relationships with real people take a backseat. So if it's an addictive thing for you, I think then there is an issue. You need to kind of be aware of how many times a week would you watch that sort of stuff, or how many times a day. You know, in comparison to actual human interactions, how often are you watching that compared to a human interaction? If the landslide is more towards or the ratio is more towards the pornography than it is with human connection, then we need to tip that balance the other way. It needs to be more. I'm not saying that you have to go out fucking rubbing your dick off people or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying actual real connection with real humans. Talking to them on the phone, having a conversation, interaction. Normal human interaction. That needs to be priority. Relationships. How does this affect your relationship? My view on this. If you're in a good, healthy relationship, being open and honest about watching porn and what you watch on porn should be simple. It should be like talking about how your day was at work. It shouldn't be a taboo. Listen, if you're in a partnership, that you're intimate, and part of that intimacy is discovering one another's bodies in new and wonderful ways, and being open to discuss stuff that you watch on the internet or watch as porn should not be off the cards. if you feel like you're doing something wrong and you feel like you can't speak to your partner, I feel that's an issue. I feel that's there's something wrong about it because you're hiding, you're keeping something from them, like if they also judge you for the things you watch, yeah, well, it depends. Like again, it's fictional. Like, you know, it shouldn't matter what you watch. You know, if it's something you want to try out and that person's not interested in trying it, well, that's okay. But you can still discuss it. And if they're not into it, good. And you don't force the point then. It's definitely a topic that needs to be out in the open a lot, because it's there. The internet is there, people watch it. Females watch porn just as much as males. It's not, fellas. I'm talking now. Don't think I'm only talking to boys. I'm talking to you girls as well. You chicks get addicted as well. I know the stories. There's women I know out there that can't orgasm without watching porn. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it's like, okay, now you've gone down the road of where you're requiring a lot more than just human connection to get yourself there. It's you've clicked something over in your mind where you now require a further stimulus. You know, there's a thing with pornography that, you know, you see something for the first time, you're like, oh fuck, that's hectic. But you might go back to it, but again, you might see it again, and you become desensitized to it. So then when we're watching it, because it's so easily accessible, we go down this rabbit hole where we watch more extreme stuff or stuff that you know, gives us that shock value the next time, and before you know it, you're watching tranny porn. Like, you know, you don't know where these rabbit hole goes because we desensitize. And then if you go too far down that rabbit hole, then normal sex with a normal human isn't fulfilling anymore because there's so much stuff going on in your head, and that feeds also into how much porn you're actually watching. There's nothing wrong with watching wild and wonderful things, but if you're watching it all the time, it becomes what your brain needs for the dopamine release or that serotonin release. Whereas actually being with a human and experiencing them the way they are, it's a build-up, and it should be that connection that gets you there, rather than you trying to think of something else to bring you to that situation, if that makes sense. Okay, so being in a relationship, I think it's important that you talk about these things because you're intimate anyway. So it's another form of intimacy. Nothing should be off topic when it comes to fucking sexy time. All right. Not going to go into, like, you know, nowadays if you have a kid, kids are finding out about all this stuff in school. Like, you can shield them and try and hide the fucking stuff that's out there on the internet from them, but they know about it already. So all I'll say to adults with kids is educate them as soon as possible yourself. Tell them the crack. Tell them what the story of the birds and bees. I don't know what the earliest age is that you should do this at, but kids are fucking experiencing shit way earlier than we ever did. So people with kids, that's with you. And let's get down to the tail end of this and my last couple of points. Everything in moderation. That goes without saying. Enjoy pornography. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But if you're watching it too much, then there's something wrong with it. Everything in moderation. Alcohol isn't bad as long as it's in moderation. Gambling isn't bad as long as it's in moderation. Fucking exercise isn't bad as long as it's moderated as well. There's too much of a good thing is a bad thing. It's as simple as that. So fucking watch your intake. Don't go fucking septic on it. And this is my challenge to you out there, to understand maybe if you do watch too much of this stuff or not. My challenge to you is, can you, male or female, doesn't matter who you are, can you masturbate working only on what's in the think tank? Going from a memory that you have of something that you have done before, hopefully with a real person. But can you do that? Can you get yourself there through memory? Just using your own thoughts and stuff that you've built up, and maybe a fantasy that you have. That's an interesting one. Do you need an external stimulant? Whoops, tipping the phone. Do you need external stimulation to get yourself there? And if you do, maybe you need to go on a little bit of a porn fast for a wee while. Just saying. Good way to test yourself out. See how you go. And of course, I'm more than happy for comments on this topic below. Personal view, I don't think porn is a bad thing. However, there is such a thing as too much. And if it becomes a thing that you require for that dopamine fix or that serotonin release, beyond actual physical human connection, I think then there lies a problem. So explore yourself, figure it out for yourself. We're all humans in this. We're all constantly on a journey of trial and error. So figure out where you are. And remember my challenge. Can you get your rocks off just by using this? Giddy up.